the questions. Europe or US?
Yeah.
US, okay. And Dubai or Buenos Aires?
Buenos Aires.
I
I
remember
work in crypto.
I remember you call it Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, kind of a Stockholm syndrome, right? But the point is like not a gambling, but a lifestyle, sadly.
Yeah.
Well, my bad advice will be like to build and sell as long as you can. Just like build and sell, hide everything, your company names, your investors. Okay, that's debatable.
Kate, welcome to Brutally Honest. First of all, massive shout out to you for introducing us to our very first guest. And I believe the idea for the podcast came to me when we were met in Cannes. It was almost a year ago. Was it in spring? I don't remember. Recently. And introducing me to George, who went from being your DevRel colleague at SideShift to studying psychology in the UK. So shout out George as well. So how does it feel to be the co-founder of this podcast?
Alex, thanks for hosting me. Actually, I was thinking about it. I guess you was the first spoke about the podcast when I was in Brazil in São Paulo during the conference. And that's when we were discussing business, but how we took a stand for this content creation, marketing stuff. And you already had the idea for the podcast. But, God's ways and mysterious. I could have never imagined you hosting me today. So you never know. It feels amazing.
Yes, and thank you for being here. I believe we'll have a very interesting conversation. But the golden question is, are you ready to be brutally honest?
Yes, of course.
Okay, perfect. So we have like a small warm-up game, and maybe it's for our audience to get to know you in a fun way as well. So I'll ask you a question and just say like A or B, right? So the two version, don't think too much, just, first that comes to mind. Okay, and a background, Kate has very extensive background in BD, in many things, in Miltech. She's very active on Twitter. So for those people who look at Twitter, will probably recognize you. So, okay, the questions. Europe or US?
Yeah.
US, okay. Telegram or LinkedIn?
Telegram, 100%.
Polymarket or Kalshi?
Polymarket.
Shitposting or long format?
A mix of both, but shitposting.
Okay. Selling drone AI or selling DeFi?
Damn. Selling DeFi.
Steak or Borscht?
Another tough one. Borscht.
And Dubai or Buenos Aires?
Buenos Aires, not overseas.
Okay, so shout out Buenos Aires people. Yeah, so in previous episodes, so we've seen some restructuring, SideShift, and you're in your Funemployment era, as you said. So how's it feel to have this break, and step away from B2B sales and becoming advisor and shitposter apparently?
Shitposter, right? I mean, it's almost to me because it's happening for me like for the second time since summer. I'm trying to have a career pivot or break. Last summer I did it like this myself. This summer we kind of had an arrangement with the team. It's challenging, but it's also fun, right? Somebody called it Funemployment for the sake of it. Had a chance to meet a lot of interesting teams and builders. Also think a lot about what I would really love to do, how to upskill, and being extremely authentic to myself and to what I would love to do daily. Because like many people would recommend you, and I've posted about this as well. I would tell you like 100 times, I already posted about this at like BD people are trying to pivot to GPM engineering, marketing people are trying to pivot to BD, and everybody's just like hiring for like the point engineers. But I'm still loyal to the game. I'm still doing advisory for growth and more about business development, market fit connections. It has been a little bit worrisome when you don't know where the market is going to. But also, I have never felt like I took a real break because I was talking to people at daily, people founders, and still having quick calls to catch up. So no rest for the wicked.
So, talking about George, so he went from SideShift to studying psychology. So, do you think everyone who works in crypto eventually needs a psychology degree just to process what we go through here?
Yeah, shout out to George. Then quite a fun ride for him to. I mean, not necessarily psychology degree, like you have to touch grass, you have to like go outside. But I've seen people reverting to some like coaching, mentorship, therapy, all of those stuff. Because there are days when you think market is so crazy that you can't do the shit anymore, but you're still doing it. And then it's good to seek some mental health if you work in crypto.
I remember you call it Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, kind of a Stockholm syndrome, right? It's hard to, but you still keep doing this.
Yeah. So let's talk about Buenos Aires, which is interesting choice. So beyond stake and being US time zone, so what does Latam has to offer, and why it is becoming such a magnet for builders?
Yeah, all of my personal stories aside, I just love the city. Like the cost of living, it's still better than Europe. It's getting more expensive, it's still better. I think like for crypto builders, of course, like the nomadic lifestyle and the variety of options to explore in the region, the crypto friendliness of businesses. Like you can pay your rent in crypto, you can use tons of apps daily and basically live bankless as I was in Buenos Aires. Also, I
So
feel
you can
like
live bankless in Buenos Aires, so you can pay with crypto cards everywhere, etc.
I mean, I could as a nomad, not just like a full-time resident, but yeah, people are really flexible with paying in crypto for their daily expenses. It's like integrated with some other payment systems like Pix in Brazil, and everybody's so on board that it's naturally a large consumer market for like payment, neobanks, all of the cards, exchanges. Yeah, it's expanding. Therefore, like they're also hiring people. And again, they have nice working hubs, like in Buenos Aires, Crecimiento, and a bunch of other non-monetary ecosystem. They have a hub in Florianopolis, so nice spots to come co-work, talk to builders, and the nomadic movement also fostered this relocation to Latam.
It's perfect time to shout out some Web3 companies that are making it possible to make crypto payments around the world and making life of nomads easier. So you're originally from Ukraine, as I am. I believe in your Warsaw now. And so what's your next move?
Nobody knows. I'm trying to be whimsical and to not share a lot of my plans. But yeah, my move is somewhere Western. I'm currently in Ukraine, actually. Just got back a week ago. Nobody knows, but it's got to be a nice surprise.
Okay, so you should follow Kate. I think Melissa over here to know the next step first. So I believe you're advising some prediction markets projects, and everyone loves trading elections, recent World Cup, and so how does these apps keep users engaged on a random Tuesday when there is no like global news breaking?
It's a nice question. I mean, I've already checked how volume from Polymarket and Kalshi dropped down this week, like since the World Cup games ended. I know like the traditional way, many are still like buying users from casinos, traditional bet and gambling platforms, basically like doing referral marketing from that too. which makes sense for some companies. But I guess the major approach is to try to innovate something within the platforms. Not necessarily in the UX itself, but to give people more ownership of participation, like in the markets and predictions, which are actually opinions they believe in. It's like there are more to add to it. Sports, esports, some cultural events, opinions from society, also regional prediction markets that are around particular countries and like regional geopolitical sentiment. Those are all evolving, and it's hard to say that they will like drive crazy volume besides the major platform. Because I believe that regardless of like UX problems or liquidity problems or even aggressive fees, when it comes to the events, people will still use either like Polymarket or Kalshi. When it comes to actually betting on the price movements, I think most will opt for perp dexes. And this is also great stuff about prediction markets because we're pivotal and more enormous into what perp dexes is, how to like trade perps. But I guess the major innovation will come around those who will realize how to make people come to the platform daily. And that's for something they believe into, not like a particular event, but something that can like spark their interest every day. And this will create, I don't know, maybe even more aggregators for prediction market or prediction markets being part of other consumer crypto platforms. And the point is like not a gambling, but a lifestyle, sadly.
Yeah. We had a very interesting audience. Link should be somewhere here. If you want to look, we actually discussed about it, how even like any creators can make bets on certain things. So they're creating the market, and you don't need like liquidity providers. So there are some companies that make it possible. But you said so. Basically, prediction markets are stealing or buying people from traditional casinos. What are the tools or strategies that did not employ yet? Like for example, I've seen on casinos, so they make like fake or semi-fake, I don't know, matches where they put two people and they play football or they play soccer or whatever, and they do it like in a closed room, in a closed environment, and it belongs to the uh, project that they're doing. So maybe there's some other strategies. Okay, it's very very similar market. We can debate, yeah, it is or it's not, but in the end of the day, the audience kind of similar. So what like other strategies that they don't deploy yet and they should, in your opinion?
I'm not a gambler. I'm not a gambler, so I will not, push the strategies to convert more people into gambling. I will mostly advise projects on like how to set up the infra for the prediction market, how to like go to market for crypto natives, not for the Vina audience. Anyways, I believe that it comes to making this experience natively on the platform of the prediction market as much like normal as possible and as less crypto as possible. I don't know how much it explains itself. Basically, one of the great examples, 42, they just recently, I guess yesterday or a few days ago, they launched like Blitz, where you showed prediction markets from like 30 sets when you have to place a bet like really fast on the price of the assets and take it for really fast. So to make it more gamified, less crypto, and more fun, I guess, because people like this quick dopamine rush.
Right. Um, so shout out 42 for trying something new in the industry. It's not that often in these days. Um, so I really like your Twitter account, and it's difficult for those who are just starting. And you said that you've been doing that for the last 2 years. So how do you keep on building your presence and being authentic?
I guess I just found my niche. All right, it's BD. It's also some DeFi posts. Like recently, I try to post about things that genuinely exciting for me. Therefore, I never take paid deals, paid shows, or like paid promotions because I know I won't be good. Like it will be quite apparent that I'm just posting about content I don't really understand or like, and you can always like you can sense a paid content. Also, consistency matters, right? I post like daily, almost daily. Otherwise, the algo will just shadow ban me. I try to mix some shit posting and fun and actually like expertise. Very roast vibes and things. You don't want it to be an experience thing. But what's all of us extremely afraid of? Like, we don't want to see another LinkedIn. And we also don't want to see another Instagram, right? Because we have this like lifestyle content that I normally set for weekends, not come with my photos, scripts, whatever. Instagram, it's Instagram, Twitter is your personal diary, but a little bit more professional, and you have a variety of stuff to experiment. But it does take time to find your own stuff.
Thank you for sharing your advice, because I believe this space is flooded with difficult formulas. You need to post at this times. You need to do this, and that. But sometimes it's just how consistent you can be and authentic, right? So, surprise question. So, if you can give one bad advice for founders that are listening to the space, what would that be?
That advice. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, my bad advice will be like to build and sell as long as you can. Just like build and sell, hide everything, your company names, your investors. Okay, that's debatable. But hide everything, do not post anything, then hire a very expensive chief marketing officer, like 200K plus, one day before your launch, before your TGE, whatever, and tell him or her that you want to make multi-millions. I'm saying, and targets US, Asia, Europe, all the same time. But keep everything in stealth. Not a single post from you guys, not a single subtweets. Nobody should ever know what the hell you're working on.
Because
Eccentric.
somebody will steal your idea.
Yeah, of course. Everybody is a spy. You should keep it in a secret what you're building.
I believe that's maybe it's not yours, but it's my favorite anecdote that you keep on telling, that when people are, or when you're DMing someone new on Telegram, people are asking, can you say I hate Kim Jong-un or something like that? So
I
what's the
mean,
story behind it?
it's happened to me multiple times. Oh well, so I think it started in Cannes, and I was meeting with the two friends there I know from crypto tutors, and they didn't know how I look in real life. Because I had signed already to me, and they didn't know my real face, and I like approached them and started talking. And so one guy completely didn't realize it was me until he saw me on Twitter yesterday, like recently, the day after we met. And the second guy was questioning, he's still questioning me if I'm spy, like even knowing all of my credentials. And then shortly after the hack, from beside the friends, even like serious companies, wallets, really tweeted its providers who were really asking me to pass against transactions. So
Yeah, it happened. So talking about hacks and where we see our industry, right? We see DeFi projects shutting down. BitMEX, I think, shut down recently, right? Last week. So do you think DeFi is going to die because of the hacks and shutdowns?
I don't think it will go into die, but it will be cleansed a lot. Like those who have not been prepared, who had shitty auditors, who have never practiced operational security, especially like multi-sig and personal operational security. That's like the rookie mistake of not having the separate device for signing transactions and like not having separate device for anybody who has any exposure to loss and liquidity. I guess it will not die. It will cleanse quite a lot. And in some sense, all of those hacks, I mean, the industry is suffering, liquidity has been draining, nobody wants to invest in DeFi. But those who do, and those who continue building, they raise the security standards. People also working on post-quantum and different formal verification methods to increase like the barrier and to be prepared for what comes next. And our general, more optimistic assumption is like in few months, maybe like there should be a limit of this hack. I mean, it's not like they will stop, but everything that can be hacked will be hacked. Because like quite often it's the same security gap or pattern we've been seeing, and things become more aware. And those who will survive this bear market will probably target and reach less of DeFi. They will reach what becomes on-chain finance, like consumer crypto, outside of crypto Twitter, outside of OGs. And those will be, I believe, multi-million, multi-billion-dollar companies.
Yeah, I've seen a quote from, I think, Joel from Dash. She said, "Those who survive will rule the world." And I really like the quote. So if you want your project to survive, you should talk to us, Wolf. We are a high agency that develops exceptional crypto products. So what else I want to talk about? And so Kate, as being a co-founder, giving you this title of the space because you bring our first guest that bring other guest. If you want, you can nominate someone else who thinks will be a great fit to us, who can give advice or insight for founders that are building on any stage of their project. It's a perfect time, but don't tell me the name. Maybe you can, just give a interesting intro.
I think the great type of the guest will be some DeFi founder, like not prediction markets, not shitcoinery anymore, but like some solid DeFi founder. I will not give you the intro, like we will not give you the names and more details because I'm a spy, but I maybe DM or somebody. But you need DeFi founders on this podcast.
Okay, so thank you for that again. Thank you for being on this podcast. Thank you for being brutally honest. Links to Kate should be somewhere here. Follow us if you like this format, to like to talk to founders, to experienced people in the industry, so you can learn from their mistakes or be inspired by them. Again, thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you, Alex. Bye-bye.